Watch lead pilot.
Go ahead, pilot.
Yeah, is now a good time for introductions?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we're going to do some introductions from the front row. We are all engineers with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, or GFOE. I'm Carl McCletchy, currently piloting D2.
Tony Arnold on nav. Dan Rogers on co-pilot.
Bob Nutt on video.
I'm Emily Narrow in the video clipping chair.
We hope everyone is enjoying the dive.
Thanks, front row. On the right-hand side at about 3 o'clock, there's an orange feathery structure. I can't tell if that's something we've seen already. May snap zoom to confirm.
Sure. Let's do a zoom here video.
Red crinoid. Yeah.
Have we seen that already?
We have, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can you come out?
It looks like a fallen stalk.
Yeah.
That was a snap zoom. That was good. Okay, so we're in the just beginning a 50-meter move.
Yep, and I'm underway.
Starting to catch up. Oh, we got a shark here.
Oh, nice.
Lasers on.
Shark.
Lasers are on.
It's
Okay, you
definitely
can
a shark.
Sharks,
Zoom
yeah.
as you'd like video.
Looks like a 6 gill.
Okay, lasers off.
I
as soon
count
as you
6 gill
Yeah.
slits.
Up.
Yep.
Cool.
It's not uncommon to come across these sharks.
Lasers on the tail there quickly.
I recall
Do lasers off.
Lasers
previously in the Pacific, we came across a pair of these sharks swimming together.
off. Yeah, I'll turn my head a little bit.
Yeah.
They usually just buzz by. They don't stick around
out
for
of the
very
light.
long.
Yeah.
And there you
It
Pretty
go.
looks like
cool.
it's a 6 gill shark. I'm not sure about the species. I know there are a number of species of 6 gill sharks, I think.
Tilting my head,
Okay.
turning my head back to 330.
But these are
There we are.
exclusively deep water
He
sharks.
was
I don't think
moderately
6 gill
cooperative.
sharks get very shallow.
Swimming up.
And
Yeah.
you certainly wouldn't see them swimming around a coral reef. So, in terms of large fishes, it's mostly just been these cartilaginous fishes, both presumably a gulper shark
Yeah, let's zoom
and
on
this
this
6 gill
vertical
shark
fish.
here,
Tilting
which
down.
are predators. They're among the top
6
predators,
meters.
but not the commercially important ones we've been
Get lasers on.
seeking out.
Okay.
He's gone.
Oh, it's coming
Oh,
back.
no, he's back. Oh,
And
he's
now it's
gone.
gone. Okay, we can go what?
So I think we may manage to get a tentative ID on that 6 or 7 and 8 armed sea star we saw earlier in the dive,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on right
possibly
center.
in the genus Solaster.
Okay.
But Chris Ma said he was going to take a look at it later,
Okay, video for the zoom.
but it definitely was the same kind of sea star observed with both 7 and 8 arms, yeah. Which is, I think Solaster can have up to
Coming
10
up towards it.
arms, if I recall. So that I would say the most dominant fish is probably this congrid.
Yeah.
I've seen easily a dozen of them since we got up on top of this ridge feature.
Get lasers off for you.
All right. It's going to bump into that. Oh.
All right.
Looking down 80 degrees.
Copy that. Okay, video whenever you're clear.
Full wide.
Excellent. Okay, pushing ahead. Okay, video free to zoom. Watch light, have we seen this fish today?
Yep, we have seen halosaurs.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's a moot point, but
Yeah.
There's
we have
another
seen
one.
halosaurs, but that one was a little bit darker than what we've seen.
It's another eel up
Another
here, it
eel,
looks like.
correct.
So we do want a 10-second zoom on every fish?
No, yeah, I think we've seen enough of the eels.
Okay.
They seem to be fairly common here, so I think we can pass on the eels. We got some good images of the head region.
Yeah, there's 2 in screen right now.
Yep.
I mean, if you're going to have the lasers on, maybe we can just kind of put the lasers next to the fish if it's not too much navigation. Otherwise, I think that'll be it.
Okay, well, as we pass over the next one, I'll try. Video snap zoom on this white object.
Looks like a bit of,
Part of a shell.
yeah, it looks
So
like
we'll
part
make
of a
it
shell,
wait a minute
maybe.
or two and then do another 50.
Or
330.
it could be. Doesn't look like a sponge. It could be some trash, maybe some plastic.
Oh, you can go
Tough
wide.
to say. It doesn't look biological, although it does have the luster of a type of gastropod shell, potentially. Unless it's the underside of a crab carapace, that would be my third guess.
Sonars are still clear. Got 2 eels off to our port. So we have 4 moves to target.
Okay, I guess we can go ahead and call in the next one.
Yeah, I'm ready. Start. No, I'm pretty.
He's out pretty far. Far enough.
Yeah, he was pointed down, but
So we were expecting probably a little bit more hard substrate up at the top of this ridge, but it seems pretty heavily sedimented with a very slight grade slope. Nothing too dramatic, and the current here, at least by visual observation of marine snow, seems to be slight. So it doesn't seem to be that this is the type of current scoured hard bottom ridge that I think some of us were expecting, but nevertheless it seems to be full of fish life, at least with respect to the conger eels we've been seeing, and at least one observation of a gray, was it a gray six-gill shark?
is that the
And a
same?
gulper.
And a gulper.
Oh, so there's two different sharks today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more sharks in the last couple of
video.
days.
Yep.
Are they
Do a
not
zoom here.
as common as
Looking
I
at you,
think they are?
40 degrees.
Well, it sounds
Come
like
down, maybe a little more tether.
Okay.
depends on the depth, I would say, but you know we've seen one in the Anegada Passage on a seamount northeast of here. They've been seen on many other dives. They were seen fairly frequently in the Gulf, I recall, in a few expeditions. So I don't think
Okay,
it's
whenever you're
uncommon. I
clear
just think
video. Don't hear any interest.
Coming wide.
then maybe they don't like to stick around the vehicles as much as we hope they would.
Yeah.
Just a brief flyby and they're off again.
Okay, looks like I am just getting underway.
Okay.
I'm sure someone else knows more about the biology of six-gill sharks. Curious what kind of prey items they eat down here,
Yeah.
or if they migrate to consume prey in the evening or at dusk and dawn.
Yeah, because everything's pretty small down here.
Or maybe they
Except
could
for
be
D2.
they could be migrating quite a bit.
It's quite large.
But I suppose these large submarine topographic high features are the best place to spot them, because it could act as we are not too far from the top of this mound, but this mound could be an aggregation point, or for some larger deep water fishes, possibly. Maybe a little bit outside of the depth range of snappers and groupers, but we'll see when we get there.
But we really don't know the depth range that well, so
Yep.
they could be going deeper.
Video, let's zoom on this fish.
Looks like a halosaur.
Halosaur.
Yep. Something similar to this was identified as Eldrevandia. A bit deeper.
Tilting my camera down.
Okay. Coming back up video.
55 degrees.
There it is.
Looks mostly similar. This particular individual seems to be a little bit more discolored. Deeper, the halosaurs seem to be lighter in coloration.
Okay, whenever you're clear video.
Coming wide.
Excellent. Looks like you're on the move, co-pilot.
Yep.
2 eels in view.
So as I was mentioning earlier about possibly the hurricanes, do you think that these natural disturbances could have any type of impact on these communities, even though that they're so deep? Have there been any studies on natural disturbances and the deep water habitats?
Surface disturbances, I'm not sure about. I know that earthquakes and tectonic activity can have an effect on seafloor habitats, in the form of landslides or mass wasting events. Hurricanes, I don't know much about. I suppose that it depends on how deep the hurricane is felt, so to speak.
Yeah.
How deep the wave action goes, and I don't know. No. I mean, one thing that we could think about is in terms of how hurricanes might cause more seafloor debris to end up down here. But, we've saw some debris this morning, some fish traps. No way to really tell if that's from the hurricane or if it's just has been there for a very long time. So it's also difficult too because we're not on a really good representative part of the seafloor for debris. We're on the top of a large mound, which potentially might have less or might observe less seafloor debris because of the propensity to fall downhill, depending on what size or kind of debris it is.
I always think that maybe there would be like more organic material input in these deep water communities during hurricanes, since we have, the river runoff and high amount of nutrients entering, these coastal water.
Yeah, it's certainly possible that that's another avenue. Instead of human waste and human debris, it's something organic for deep water ecosystems to munch on. We've seen a lot of sargassum in this area, but I wouldn't call it extreme amount. It's seems to be pretty normal. We're not seeing massive fields or rafts of sargassum on the seafloor. We haven't seen a tremendous amount of wood, which is usually what you might see closer to
How much is left in that
a
move?
larger island, wood falls.
Quick zoom here video.
Okay. All right. Jumping down. 70 degrees.
Tilting up.
Looks like another grenadier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Grenadiers and these eels.
I think the grenadiers are macroinvertivores or something like that. They eat benthic invertebrates.
Looks like it has some barbels right under its mouth. That helps. Maybe sense some of the small living organisms within the sand.
Okay, whenever you're clear video.
Okay.
So we are making actually some pretty good way since we left waypoint 2. We're well on to waypoint 3 now. This area is expected to flatten out a bit, but it's right now it's still sloped. Still heading very much upslope.
So just have another minute to settle out.
Okay.
we should acknowledge again everyone who's joining us from various parts of the Caribbean. We have folks tuning in from the Gulf and Caribbean Fisheries Institute Conference in San Andres, Colombia, as well as the Eco Exploratorio in San Juan, where we left on the 30th of October. Seems much, much further away, but it's actually only been about a week.
Yeah.
And we should be making our way back there in the next 2 weeks. We have another 2 weeks left out here as we continue our explorations.
Call another one in.
Let's do it.
Yeah, 50 meters, 330.
Yep, on the 150 meters from the target.
We should do it. We
or just another sponge stock wooling me on the lower right.
lower right.
Yeah, sorry, I spoke too late.
Okay.
Oh, we're not moving very fast. We can pilots on the lower right out of the screen.
Sure.
We thought we saw some odd sponge stock or stock structure.
Yeah, just a little bit different from the others.
Degrees.
Is it the one in upper right?
Turned and maybe went forward, maybe half a meter.
It's not that one, upper.
Maybe
I think it might be, right?
I think it was behind us. He said we went forward about a half a meter.
Ah.
So if it was out of the frame below us or behind us.
Does it have a sponge on top?
I don't recall, but it was only the stock, I think.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yep,
Oh.
that one.
Came into my view
6
anyway.
o'clock.
Take a look.
We definitely have time to zoom on things. There's not much here.
Yeah.
Besides sponge stocks, conger eels, occasional Nizumia, occasional crinoid,
Sharks.
and sharks.
Okay, video for
We
to
could
zoom.
use a little bit more of those.
Yeah, I was disappointed that one swam by so quickly.
So it looks like we have another hyalinated stock.
Yep. Okay, I thought there might be something different, but it's just the way it was oriented looked a little different to me, but maybe we're a little bit higher off the bottom. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, well, while we're here, we could go in on the squat lobster just for fun. I'll turn a little to starboard.
This squat lobster looks like it's missing at least one appendage.
Yeah, like
one
the
of
front.
or two. I think it's missing both of its claws. At least the one on the left side of its body is absent. Yeah, I think it's just the one
Do you
claw.
have any more zoom video?
That's max.
Okay, it's very small.
It's up
Yep.
and down.
All right, whenever you're clear video.
Coming back.
60 degrees.
Sirius is on the move again.
Oh,
We'll do a quick zoom on this fish while we fly over. Looks a little different color than the others.
Yep.
Yeah, this
This
fish
is-
looks a little bit different. Tilting down. Very active swimmer, although it could.
80 degrees.
Is it the Neoscolopus?
No, I don't think so. That one was a little bit more torpedo-shaped body. This one seems a bit more elongate.
Okay, one more zoom video, then it's got to take off.
It almost reminds me of Nezumia, but smaller. You know, the grenadier. It has that prominent dorsal fin and then similar, but it's moving very quickly.
Yeah. Okay, let's go wide.
And the coloration of Neoscopulus was
Okay, 005.
more blue.
Yeah,
Blue,
it was
black.
more blue and iridescent.
Tilting up.
Oh, sorry, we're going 330.
Yeah, 330.
I just said going 005. That was the first half of the shift.
Oh, yeah. Missed you saying that.
In this area, we're looking at a lot of bioturbated mounds, bioturbated sediment. Oh, yeah.
There's a
4 or
fish
5.
Right
pilot.
side.
There's
yeah.
a fish right side. Yeah. I think this is the fish that I saw earlier that scooted off when we were zooming in on, I think, a eel or something.
Okay, it can go in, then we'll lose lasers. Setting down.
I feel like we saw this one on dive 2, maybe?
Is this the blackmouth?
Tilting up.
Blackmouth bass? Or sorry, I
Bass?
thought it was
Something
some
like
sort of
that.
bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tilting down.
If you come out, I can spin
Blackmouth
around.
bass?
Bass?
Yeah.
I think it might be.
I'm not used to fish being so still.
Cinegrops.
Cinerops.
Okay, video, you can go in.
There we go.
Oh, got some sediment. Here we go.
Nice looking fish.
That's a pretty cool coloration. Most of these fish are silvery or iridescent.
Okay, whenever you're clear, video.
Nav, this is watch lead. At our current pace, do you think we could make waypoint 3 by the end of the dive? Awesome, thanks.
Yes, thank you.
We'll just wait a couple minutes and we'll get another one in.
Yep. Am I 115 from that turning point? Okay, video for the zoom.
That's weird. It's like a dark cup coral. This looks a little bit different. I mean, the profile looks very similar to one we saw
Tilting down.
a while ago. A very low profile kind of cup coral, but the coloration is very dark.
Yeah, the base is much darker than the other one.
Okay, whenever you're clear video, go out to lasers.
Coming out.
The laser's on.
I think we might have to go more. It's very small. There we go.
All right, Nav, I think.
I can't actually see a
Go ahead and call
skeleton on
in.
this one, and
That
so
looks
at
smooth.
least at this view, I can't differentiate it from,
Yep.
you know, an anemone or
Yeah.
not a corallimorph. But I mean, it looks like a cup coral. I just don't see sclerosepta or.
Try to get a top-down view of it.
Right. Yeah, I think you know, we don't have a good handle on how to identify cup corals from video, and it's definitely a big drawback because they can be super abundant in some areas, as they were yesterday on this rather steep wall. Generally, they occur in pretty low densities as they are here, but I'm just so surprised that they are occurring in so much sediment. Usually we find them attached to a more hard substrate that is sediment swept,
Okay, for the zoom.
current swept. I can just barely make out the large ridges, the major septa. Yeah. I was gonna say this one. Tough to say. Usually there's a group of cup corals. Scott, did you see the part of the skeleton?
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like the sclerosepta are what are dark in this particular case. And I guess I was looking for white sclerosepta, so I was kind of fooled there.
Yeah.
Really nice image. That might help, you know, get a little farther to identification.
Yeah. There's a good key for scleractinian cup corals, and there's one group, Polymyces, that has a red calyx.
Okay, video when you're clear.
That might help.
For, you know, folks listening in, much of the taxonomy, the characteristics that are used by the experts to name the species and then later identify the species are based on the skeleton, the number of plates, how big they are, their shape, those sorts of things. So more of those characteristics than the soft tissue itself. And that's probably done because it's easier to preserve the skeleton and study it than it is the soft tissue.
Right. Upon looking through the photo guide, I'm not convinced it's Polymyces, although the coloration
And Sirius is underway.
you know, dark on the cup. The septa are much smaller in polymyces, and they don't extend beyond kind of the cup itself and the correlate. So it will remain a mystery.
Fish here?
I don't think
no,
so.
Never mind.
Camera's at 60.
Copy. Start pushing ahead.
You do have a fish at lower left.
Yes, I think that's the one we've been seeing a lot.
Yeah.
Sonars are clear. Comps look good.
Yes, all is well.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Pilot, this is watch lead. Can we have a snap zoom on?
And this fish here?
Yeah, the fish.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a different fish.
one.
For a second, it looked like an eel from
Yeah.
the back.
Okay, video. Go
But
for
from
zoom.
the side profile,
Oh,
this
really
looks like
cool.
Lasers off
like
once
a
you scan
tinsel
it.
fish
Okay.
or something like that.
It's a cool
It's
looking
got
rat.
This is a
lasers.
really cool looking fish.
Come out partial video.
It looks kind of like an Oreo with a longer tail.
Okay, we got lasers.
Lasers off.
And you're free to zoom video.
Yeah, it kind of looks like this, no?
Try to keep
A tinsel fish.
lateraling over to get a side view. Nope.
It's interesting.
Camera's at 80.
We haven't seen this before on this expedition.
And it's gone. Well,
Do we want to try to follow it?
yeah, if it's not too difficult, I guess it's the most interesting
You got
thing to
some
look
time.
at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and it totally changed
Does
colors.
Does it open its tail sometimes? If it
I'm not sure.
it's a strange tail.
I think it does.
Doesn't look very hydrodynamic
The
there.
tinsel fish
I'll get the camera down to 101.
caudal tail looks
Okay.
a little bit, oh no, looks very
Just be
similar.
ready to zoom back out ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not a fish expert, but I'm going to go with tinsel fish.
Okay, video. We have a few more seconds. They have to move.
I know I've seen this type of fish before. I just had to come up with a... Yeah.
Okay, let's go wide.
Yeah, these are the...
Okay, still 330.
330. And lasers back on.
It's another fish under the skid.
We
bass.
gotta
Okay.
keep moving.
That was one of that bass.
All right, camera's more out.
Camera's at 45 degrees.
How much is left in that move, Nev? Okay.
Another one coming up center. Just to the right of the laser. Oh no, that's
Stock.
that's a stalk. Yeah.
So the bearing to target waypoint 3 is 300. I can turn my head and see what it looks like.
Sounds good.
So for those who are listening, we are at a depth of 654 meters right now. We hope to reach a depth of
300.
about 600 meters. Looks like one of those cup corals again.
Oh, did we just pass it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to go back?
Ship
It should be
vector.
right below us.
No, it's all right.
Indicates that the ship is stopped.
We have a couple hundred meters left of this type of terrain. And cup corals don't move very fast. I'm hoping that our patience will be rewarded and, you know, we'll come across this just
Third shark.
third shark. Corals, sponges,
Dolphins, whales.
just all coming through.
I like your optimism, watching. Put another move in.
Yeah, even the sponges have kind of
You ready for that, Carl?
don't
Yeah.
like this terrain anymore.
Maybe after we look at this fish.
Not
Yeah.
many sponge stocks.
So we'll do 50 at 300 for the next one, once he's done with this.
Are we on the top of this feature now?
I believe so.
We're on the top of the feature, but we're only along
Okay,
about
video.
halfway along the
Free to zoom.
ridge track. So between waypoints 2 and 3. And there's another knoll that rises about 50 more meters from where we are, rather sharply. We're not quite there yet, but we'll let you know when we turn on to it. So we're heading roughly northwest right now. And the feature we're heading to is a little bit to the northwest from here. Very nice photo.
Okay, pilots.
All right.
Let's do it.
Another fish, right?
Looks like a stock sponge.
Oh.
Maybe.
They haven't left this
Oh, no.
area entirely. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
Sponge.
another stock sponge
I'm seeing stuff.
with a crinoid on the back side of it.
Been sitting there a while.
So this, I missed the details
Camera's at
this
40
morning. but
degrees.
was this
Should be underway in a
particular
minute.
site fished before, or would it be a target if it was just slightly deeper than the ideal range for.
I believe the shallower region is a target by
Okay.
deep, yeah, for the deep water snappers.
I know we saw a fish pot or some sort of fish trap earlier, but we haven't seen any other type of fishing gear since we arrived on the seafloor. Occasionally you see line or something like that. These types of deep water fishes, these are line fish, yeah.
Yeah, these are, usually they fish the deep water snappers with vertical long lines.
I imagine that's kind of messy if it gets.
Well, that's how they've figured out that there could be some relationship between, you know, this high biological biodiversity and where these snappers are occurring, because a lot of these fishermen are fishing and bringing up pieces of corals and sponges with their lines. So
Yeah. And we are diving a little bit deeper than the what is known to be the deepest. Yeah. Can we zoom in on the lasers to just to the right?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Wanted to see if this was a different cup coral, because we've been seeing at least, well,
Okay, video
could be
for the
two
zoom.
different species, or at least two different coloration patterns of one species. Yeah, this one looks lighter.
doesn't look like it has the dark,
No,
the dark septa like the other one.
doesn't
Let's
seem
like
that
the
way.
power on your
Although
aft camera.
I can see it
Okay.
at the edge view. This one actually resembles Stephanocyathus, which is a kind of this low profile cup coral that is typically found in soft sediments. So it's getting a little bit easier possibly to identify some of these. But again, not conclusive and definitely not to the species level using the images that we have.
Okay, video
I
when
mean,
you're clear.
I would call this probably,
is
in terms
underway.
of coral fauna, a dominant member of this
50
community.
degrees.
Pilot.
Co-pilot. Okay.
So, welcome everyone who's watching on shore. We are just topping the 2 o'clock hour now. Local time on the ship, Atlantic Standard Time. We're coming at you from the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer at a depth of 653 meters with the ROV D2 in Sirius. My name is Steve Voskovich. I'm one of the co-science leads on the expedition exploring the deep water habitats around Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm a PhD candidate at Temple University in Philadelphia in the Department of Biology, and I studied the ecology of deep water corals. I'm joined by to the right-hand side here.
Hi, my name is Stacy Williams from the Institute for Socio-Ecological Research and also Coastal
pushing
Survey
ahead.
Solutions,
my
both
camera's at
located in Puerto
8300.
Rico. I'm a benthic ecologist, and I've been studying the marine communities, mostly shallow water
Sonars are
and
still
mesophotic
clear.
communities around Puerto Rico and throughout the Caribbean.
So how far from, Tony, how far from that first contour are we? Like where it might get interesting? 610 meter contour, yeah.
It's
Oh,
another
see a
tinsel
up
fish
there.
to the right-hand
Roger.
side.
Oh, I think this is a beardfish.
165. Thank you.
Okay, let's go partial vid.
Excellent.
He's going to zoom off. We'll let him go. And as always, you can feel free to zoom past the skid whenever you need to. Great. Great.
Excellent.
Anything of interest on screen right now, watch lead? We have fish,
Oh,
an urchin, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
what that is on the bottom left, but
Yeah, we can look at the urchin.
okay.
Another bass.
Yeah.
I already got a perfect zoom on that one, so.
Yeah, can't top it, so move on to something else.
It's a pretty big urchin.
Okay, we
Oh,
get
wow.
lasers off.
It's looks like it's
Lasers
20
off.
centimeters
And is that
in
move
diameter.
wrapping up? Is that the stern thruster stopping us? Okay. Great.
Alright. My camera's 80 degrees, but I should be stopping.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, video. Hold that.
Wow. 0 knots of current and 8 knots of wind.
It's pretty nice out
So
there.
as we were mentioning, I believe yesterday, you can see the spines in the oral surface. The ones located close to the sediment, they are modified.
Okay, you can go
They
in
look
tighter.
kind of like hooves,
you're
and
ready.
this helps the sea urchins move along the seafloor, especially in this soft sediment. These are great pictures of spines.
Should we try the high beams?
You can see the smaller, tinier ones.
Yeah, if you want.
They're
You ready for them?
They have hooks to them, and those are the pedicellari that they're able to grab onto things and help camouflage themselves if they needed to.
Is
I
that a
think
little
this
more
one
color?
is the first for today's dive.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
a
I think-
sidarid, and then
Hold that, and I'll tilt up a touch.
that's right.
can you zoom in on the black dot? Right, I think it's
Kinda
right,
right
in the
center?
middle. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure if that's.
Standby video. Okay, Bob, you can go ahead.
I can't quite tell if it's
Yeah.
a discoloration or if something is there.
Punctured it or
Yeah.
something.
Given that there's another one over here, I think that might be part
Do you have any more
of
zoom, or is that
No,
full
that's
zoom?
part of the
Okay.
it's outside the row,
spines, yeah.
outside one of the rows of spines. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, video.
Okay, turning off high beams.
Great.
Pilot, this is watch lead.
Go ahead, watch lead.
When you get a chance, we have we were thinking and talking with some scientists on shore about some collections we'd like between now and the end of the dive,
Okay.
and we were thinking if we can find one of these corals that we've been seeing, the cup corals in the sediment, we might want to look at that, particularly one of the red ones.
Okay.
If we find one. And then the second thing is one of these stalked sponges, if we can find one that's intact with the stalk.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for cup corals and stalked sponges.
I leave it up to you guys, since you're putting in some pretty long moves. You probably need some time to...
Well, I think we're in a situation where if you see something that you want to collect, we can bring the ship to a stop fairly quickly and get settled out fairly quickly. So
All right.
if you see something you want, let us know and we'll make it happen.
We'll keep an eye out. Thanks.
I am stopped and looking down at you.
Okay. Oh, I think I see a sponge right over there.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if only that sponge was sitting right next to a cup coral.
Right at the base, so you can scoop both.
So is this one that you'd want to collect?
Yeah, I think that would be a good candidate.
Okay.
We want to get some imagery on it first to see what kinds of associates there are, and then
Sure.
into the bucket.
And are you hoping for maybe the top half of the stalk, or do you want to get it from the base, or what do you need?
So we did want to see how deep it extends, so maybe like pluck it if it's possible.
Sure.
I think it'll fit.
Yeah, it's not too big.
This looks like a beautiful
If I remember
specimen.
right,
It's
these-
fully intact,
The heads definitely float, because that's what they do.
as well as it has the zoanthids on the stem.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to zoom in
You're gonna
video?
do port.
Yeah, sure.
I'll turn my head to
Hold
you.
that. We can get lasers off when you're ready. Okay. Okay. Would you like to zoom on any other part of this in particular?
Just, yeah, some, maybe the stem for
Okay.
associates,
Go
but
ahead,
I
video.
don't quite see any other than the zoanthids. Oh, there's a little squat lobster.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
See if he's able to make the ride.
Yeah, it looks small enough that it might not be scared off.
Okay, zoom toward the base. Okay, let's come out video. Let me get a little bit closer.
So if they want the strands, you can't really clip it, huh? You
No,
have to tangle your fingers down there.
try to dig in with the fingers and see if we can pull it out by the roots.
The stalk should be all fibery, so it should be
Should
strong.
be tough, yeah.